Hey friends, welcome to another edition of the Cozy Corner Crazies with your favorite crazy, Chris G. Today is a different kind of day, okay? It's one of those like chill. Probably have to turn your volume up a little bit because I'm not in a position where I can really talk loud. So I do apologize in advance. I'm still the same person, still up and still trying to be positive on a regular basis, but it's been a while since I posted my last video. A lot of things have happened along the way, which kind of like inspired today's title, Unexpected and Uncomfortable. So here's my question to you. Do you feel like there are times when you're like on your game and you're like on fire and you're getting stuff done and you feel pretty powerful and you feel pretty confident, and then all of a sudden something unexpected and pretty uncomfortable happens? Is that you? That's pretty much what's been happening with me since our last time together. And you can even see that I like look a little different, which is totally fine. You know, you can't always be on your 100 all the time. Sometimes you're at 50%. In my case, I'm at like 30 or 40%. So this week, in addition to the other things that I dealt with over the past couple of months, so I'm grateful because after 2 years and a half of actually going through the whole pandemic thing, my household got struck with COVID. We are thankfully okay now. It was pretty, pretty simple in comparison to some of the other cases that I've heard, so I was even that much more grateful. Still had the fever, the cough, the body aches, the uncomfortableness, not really being able to walk or eat. I lost my sense of taste and smell for 2 weeks, so that was kind of scary. Still not at 100% in being able to smell and taste, but it's slowly coming around, and I'm just super grateful for that. And most recently being just today, I came home from the hospital, actually. I got what they call appendicitis. Now, for those of you who have already kind of heard a little bit of the stories, I have a significant amount of health issues that are present, but also things that have happened in the past. So just to give you a quick little timeline, in 2016, my right ovary was removed due to a benign cancerous cyst, so that was kind of scary. And I have a scar like this big down below. And then in 2018, my gallbladder was removed, so I have about like 4 scars for that. And then this week, just 2 days ago, my right side started to, kind of hurt and whatnot. And at first I didn't really pay too much attention to it because I have what's called IBS, and that's irritable bowel syndrome. And so it's connected with the colitis in my case, not always the case in everybody else's, but it's connected with mine. And every so often I'll have a lot of cramping, and I have to be very careful with my diet. And it does help that I'm pretty healthy. For every so often I will dabble in some pizza because I can't stay away from my pastas and my pizzas. And but I'm not really like a fried food or greasy food type person. And so I would say that my health regimen is pretty healthy. But there are still things that are healthy for you that still cause irritation in my body, like the leafy greens and certain fruits and certain vegetables that I can't have. So just really a battle that is okay, and we walk around with it, and we live with it, and we try to stay positive. And I've dedicated my life to trying to learn more about life wellness, not just for myself, to pass it on to other people who may not feel like there's encouragement in that regard, or there are any solutions other than to give in to their sicknesses and just be depressed. So I believe that I've come to a pretty positive place in trying to help people get through that. But this particular situation was pretty difficult to deal with because I didn't really know what to do. Luckily, I was not alone when this happened, and I got to the hospital, and it was just like a very like fast thing that happened. Woke up at 3:30 a.m. with this uncontrollable cramp, thinking, hey, it was just regular cramp, and soon I'm gonna have to go handle my business. And woke up at 7:30 with like this jab. It was just like, like somebody just stabbed me, and I have felt that feeling before because ooh, sorry y'all, it's been a real 48 hours. So I'm going to just stretch out. Just give me a minute, okay? Okay, sorry, y'all. I'm back. I had to prop myself up a little bit because I'm still going through it. I know you're probably wondering, like, why is she, like, doing this right now? Why is she recording right now? I've always been the type of person who kind of got a little irritated when you hear testimony stories and you hear people go through certain things. But they tell you after the fact, oh, this is where I was, this is where I am now, just giving you the victory story. Today, I didn't want to do that. Today, I wanted to kind of give you, like, the full-on story, the full Hollywood access, if you will, to what was going on and what's currently going on with me right now. It was very unexpected, and it has been extremely uncomfortable. I have a long journey ahead of me. I do have some medicine that I'm taking, which is amazing, and of course they did the very best that they could at the hospital, but there was something very real that was happening in my mind and my body when I was going through this experience, from the minute that it started to all the way to the hospital, not being able to walk. I think that's what was really getting to me. Every time I walked, I had like this pain down low in my groin area, really sharp, really uncomfortable, really painful. So I got to the hospital, and the wonderful people at the emergency room did their due diligence and got me on some medicine right away. And I did some imaging, and it wasn't very, very long before they came back and they told me what needed to be done, and that I had to have surgery on my appendix. So I have this book. When I got this book years ago, I didn't think that I was really going to need it for myself. It was just going to be like for the studies and things that I was looking forward to doing. And I got it from an unexpected source. Didn't buy it from a store or anything like that. I actually got this book from my mom. She used to be a registered nurse, and so she had this book, and when she was moving a couple years ago, she just gave it to me. I asked her if I could have it, and she gave it to me. And so the appendix is part of what is called the excretion system, and essentially that's just a part of the digestive system that helps you get rid of waste. It's a very interesting thing because even the doctors themselves say that the appendix really has no known function. So what I was reading in the book is that it is definitely located at the end of the large intestine, and it is found only in humans, certain species of apes, and in the wombat. Other animals have an organ in the same position as the appendix that acts as an additional stomach, where cellulose, the fibrous part of plants, is digested by bacteria. It seems that we have evolved through the ages and begin to eat less cellulose in favor of more meat, a special organ which is no longer needed for its digestion. The appendix, therefore, could be described as a relic of evolution. So I guess essentially back when we were created, we were eating more plants. It was needed at that time, but now that we have more protein and more meats, its function is not as important. And so what I had was what they call appendicitis, and then it was associated with, I actually have the paper right here. Oh, probably shouldn't have done that. It was associated with peritonitis, which essentially is just an inflammation that was, in addition to the pain, it was inflamed, and so it was causing inflammation in different parts of my stomach. So it was a pretty painful process. And so appendicitis, a lot of the facts, they tend to contradict themselves essentially, but on the one hand, nature appears to have adapted it to act as a watchdog for infection in the lower end of the gut. Like the tonsils and adenoids, it contains a large collection of lymph glands for this purpose. But if the appendix does become inflamed, a condition called appendicitis, which is what I had, results, and the organ may have to be removed. On the other hand, the appendix seems by no means to be essential to health. It can be dispensed at an early age, making no apparent difference, and it has nearly shriveled up completely by the age of 40 or so. So I'm pretty close. I am 33, so, probably would have decimated and dissolved by the time I was 40 anyway, so it's totally fine. But for me, having so many surgeries back to back over the past couple of years has been really scary and really discouraging. I'm like in the peak of my career and my educational journey. I'll be graduating in 10 months. And I'm just really like discouraged. And it's really discouraging. One thing that I have found as I go through these things every time is, the journey of health is something pretty complex that happens on a regular basis for me. This just happened to be the current. This is what recently just happened. I feel like I have to like restart every time. Like right now I'm walking on my trusty cane here. This is my lifesaver right here. I have to walk on that. I had a walker at the hospital, couldn't walk on my own. I have these scars, and I would show you up close and personal, but it is kind of graphic for some people, so I'll kind of just show like on a picture of a phone so that it doesn't look so bad. But essentially that's it, and that's what I'm dealing with right now. There's a scar on my belly, and then you can't see the ones below, but there's one right here, and then one below that, and then a couple on this side, and that's the picture of my stomach. Let me see if I can find a better one. Yeah, there we go. So there is the picture of my current situation. It is very painful. I'm still very much swollen. Like I said, I'm taking these medications, so they're helping with the pain and stuff, but it's really hard to like walk, and it's really hard to sit up on myself. And I've got just like all of this uncomfortable pain, and so every time something like this happens, I have to relearn how to do basic things like to walk and to eat and to be okay in here and in here. And I wanted to give you that today. This was not planned. I had absolutely no intention or desire to do this at all. And I don't want you to like feel bad, like I'm good, I'm alive, I'm grateful. Um, the hospital did make it their business to let me know that like they're glad that I came in, because if not, it could have been fatal. But I don't like to think about it like that. I like to think about God having a plan and God knowing what he's doing. And even though I don't understand it, I can still trust him. And a lot of people are very wary about this topic of God. We say it all the time. We are Christians, and we have the vlog and the blog and other things that we dabble into in addition to our professional careers. But this is not a Christian blog. I don't want to confuse the two, because God has his purpose and his place in our lives, but we also have our purpose and our place in this world as he has created us for. And sometimes the two contradict each other, and it's not always easy to pull on God. So I feel people when they say, oh, I'm not a believer, or I don't believe that, or they just have no belief, or they have a completely different belief like paganism or atheism or whatever. And I know that it's going to be a long journey, and I know that I'm discouraged with this unexpected and uncomfortable situation right now, but I wanted to give this to you right now because I'm in it. I'm going through it. Just a couple of hours ago, I couldn't even talk or hold my head up. This is the result of like 4 hours of sleep. I haven't slept. I've just been in pain, just really going through a lot of pain. And I have, those herniated discs in my neck and my spine. So just the positions that I've had to sleep in, and or sit up in, rather, because, the beds are different. And I'm so grateful for the comfort of the bed at the hospital, but I'm much more grateful to be home in my own bed and being able to, earlier I ate a little bit of rice and keeping a very bland diet. And there's still so much to come. I'm only 2 days into my possibly 30-day journey. And I wanted you to see. I wanted you to see it. I wanted you to see that it's not always, oh, this is where I was and this is where I am. And the victory story in between is like, you don't ever have to be like that again. And you will never go through anything like this again. And you'll always know what to say if it does happen again. You always know what to do, and you won't. This is my third time, and they say, oh, third time's a charm. But this is like, third time is a curse for me. Sometimes it's like that. But the other side of me believes that all of this has a purpose. And even as I am speaking it, and even though I'm going through it, and we have the channel and just talking to people about different subjects and things like that, I find myself even discouraged in that because I'm not trendy. I don't talk about trending topics like fashion and entertainment and drugs. And, I mean, we talk about recovery and all of that, but it's not the same. And so I feel like I don't really have a popular topic to talk about, and I'm not trending, and I don't care because even if it's just one person out there, that is going through it, and you're in it right now, keep smiling and keep moving forward and keep being encouraged, because at the end of it all, you will be able to help someone else. You may even be able to help somebody while you're going through it. I once knew this elderly lady. She was amazing, senior citizen. Yeah, she had so many things that had happened to her, including physical, mental illnesses. And this was several years ago when I was in the peak of one thing after the other with my surgeries. And my first surgery had already happened. And she told me, she said, when you're down on the ground, smile anyway, because you can't go any lower. And if you can smile there, the devil can't take you down anymore. And it hit me because I was like, wow. So as you're down on your knees, begging for mercy, you can also give thanks that you have breath in your lungs and you can smile. And your worst enemy, not even the devil himself, can take that away from you. So just remember that today, tomorrow, as you're going through it like me. And remember to smile today. But also remember, you're not doing it for somebody else. That could be your secondary motive. That's totally cool. But do it for yourself, first and foremost. Smile today, beautiful. Smile today, handsome. Because you're worth it. And you are loved. And you are affirmed. And you are accepted. And you are adored. Be sure to show your love down in the comments section. And as you're showing your love to us, don't forget to show your love to each other, because that's what we're all here for, right? To be there for one another, to love on one another. And it doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter how powerless you may feel. It doesn't matter how weak or how much in pain you may feel. You still have the ability to smile. You still have the ability to give thanks for things like clean water, the fact that you can open your eyes, the fact that you have all 10 fingers and all 10 toes. And you're walking and your movements may be limited like mine, but you still can move. Just the simple things. Get yourself a gratitude jar. Put gratitude in there, a gratitude book, or you just write down on a piece of paper all the things that you're grateful for this day. Be encouraged, my friends. You are loved and you are appreciated. We thank you for showing your love always to our ministry. We hope that you will pass this message of love to someone else, someone who may be hurting, somebody who maybe just needs that encouragement like I needed it for myself today. Be blessed, be loved, and you are sent. Bye.